Hello. Hello. Thank you for checking in. It is Thursday, Stupid Question Day, a regular feature of Live with Lorielle, where I put on the genius cap right here, which allows me to answer any question about any topic in the entire universe with complete accuracy. Guaranteed, I'm a genius today. So I hope you have some questions for the genius because I'm here ready to give you genius answers. So, yeah, hello. And it is Thursday, another beautiful day here in California. Hope you're all doing well. And hi, Wing Doggy. David Jones is scoffing at the idea of my geniosity. Some people don't believe. Oh, okay. All right, you doubters. Give me a question. Give the genius a question if you don't think I'm a genius. Guaranteed accuracy. Shot in the hat. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam, I am, said the cat in the hat. So apropos. Hi, Linda. Hello. So, woohoo! All right, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to have to talk about politics because I'm a genius. No, the big news today is that Mueller, the like Big Daddy Dick Tracy, square, hard-nosed investigator, the guy who gets to the truth, just the facts, Robert Mueller, has been investigating the MI6 top agent who constructed the Steele document, the Steele dossier. You may have heard about that. That's the one that they had the stuff about Donald Trump and Russia and a whole bunch of collusion things, which was actually released before the election. And yes, and they have since then, this was compiled by foreign investigators. They have since then gone and double checked and found the actual sources and confirmed with him, confirming that these things are true. He is now a witness with the Mueller team, giving them his sources, his evidence, sharing everything with them, showing the meetings that took place, the agreements that were made, the changes in the Republican platform in regards to Russia, direct changes that were made as requested by Donald Trump to soften the stance towards Russia. Linda says they have to show the proof. Yes, Linda, that's what they are doing right now. He's the one who wrote that, and they have since then, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, fake news." Since then, he is showing them the proof, Linda. He's got the receipts. David Jones wants to know if it's worse than Hillary Clinton and the Democratic convention. Yes, David Jones. Anytime you are colluding with a foreign government that is an enemy to the United States, yes, that is worse. That is called a high crime. That is called treason. That is the biggest crime you can commit in the U.S. Treason against your country. That is probably the biggest crime you can commit. So, yes, it is a big deal, David Jones. And yeah, David Jones, you keep trying to throw these false equivalencies out there. There is no equivalent. So anyhow. And no, David Jones, that didn't happen either. David Jones, you just keep up. You're the one who's sending out all this fake information. You're so funny. Really, who are you working for, David Jones? Are you like an underground mole for the Russians? You're like Mr. Fake News. You can't fool the genius, David Jones. And you certainly can't fool Robert Mueller. This guy. In fact, if there's a Halloween costume, if I have two choices of Halloween costumes, my Halloween costume would be either one, the infamous RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the honorary Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, one of the smartest, most awesome women in the entire world. And then number two would be Robert Mueller. Those are my two Halloween superhero costumes. They're both superheroes, great Americans, great patriots. Oh, really, David Jones? Really? You can't even come close to write the legal briefs that she writes. Not even close. Linda says, I can't believe everybody's saying all this stuff because they want to believe bad stuff about the president. Linda, they have proof. This is true. There's pictures, there's meetings, there's deals that were made. This isn't, nobody's saying this because, Linda, I would love for none of this to be true. I would love for him to suddenly stand up and say, I'm going to do a great job and really do it. I would love that. I would love to be wrong. I wish that he could be awesome because that's what I want for this country. It's really not about him, even though I don't like him. I wish he could do a good job, but he's not. His entire family and organization is just a bunch of criminals and thieves. I mean, people always say, oh, politics, it's this and that. They all lie. This is on a unprecedented scale that we've never even seen before. It really blows everything out of the water. But Linda, nobody wants to believe bad stuff about him. Nobody wants to. Everybody wishes it wasn't true. Linda says, if that's the case, why didn't it start a long time ago? It did. It started before the election. It started before the election. And they've been blocking and trying to fight against it. This started over a year ago. And this colluding started like 2 years ago before he was even running. All this stuff started and has been under investigation since then, all this time. It didn't just come, this started before he. Linda says, no, I mean longer ago, but before that, like way back when. What do you mean way back when? Before he started to run? Like back in the 20s or such? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean back in the 20s. What are you talking about back in the 20s? In the 20s, all this corruption in the government. I can't talk about what was going on in the 20s, Linda, because those are all those people are dead and none of us were alive then. Like I said, we can only talk about the stuff that's in front of us right now, that's happening in the present. I'm sure there were lots of things that were being investigated and government corruption stuff in the 20s, but that doesn't really have much relevance to today and Donald Trump. And I don't know, maybe you're trying to say government's always corrupt, but not to this level. Not like Donald Trump does everything bigger than everyone else. Well, in this case, it is true. But yes, Linda, there's been corruption. Actually, the biggest corruption has been from like the 70s and 80s, when they've been doing a lot of changes, a lot of the gerrymandering, which I know. Yeah, there's always going to be some level of corruption, and we're supposed to. We want our elected officials to be upstanding public servants who are working for the best of the people and not just working to line their pockets. And of course, you always get a mix of that. And there's checks and balances that are supposed to the three branches of the government are supposed to balance that out. However, if they all start colluding with each other, then that gets harder. But yeah, but while I'm sure there's been lots of corruption, Linda, since the 1920s, we have to focus on the present corruption that is facing the administration of today. And the crazy irony of this is, you know, for all this time they were going on and on about Hillary Clinton and emails and using her private email server, and all this lock her up or emails. Now we're finding out that almost everybody in Trump's campaign has their own private emails that they're using to do government business. And not only that, but trying to hide them, keeping them secret. And finding out that Jared and Ivanka, they don't just have two, they've got three. There were two secret ones. You would think that after all of that hubbub about emails, that this administration would be like extra, you know, don't do that. David Jones, again, another false equivalency. Getting millions of dollars to write a book no one is going to read sounds like criminals to me. David Jones, that is completely irrelevant to politics. That is a business decision by a book company. Yeah, so yeah, this is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I've Linda says she's not going to get riled up and is waiting to see how it plays out. Well, Linda, this is real. I tweeted a lot about Seth Abramson. He's a reporter. He's got a lot of stuff there and a lot of sources. Everything is linked. You can read the articles, read the stories, find out what's going on. So, yeah. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know. Does anyone have any questions, or do you want me to just rant about politics? Somebody's got to have a question for the genius. Otherwise, I'm... Well, Linda, you don't have a question. Sam says that the talking points he's hearing from the GOP right now reminds him of all the same talking points that he heard from the GOP during the Nixon investigation. Except this is bigger because Donald Trump does it a lot bigger than Nixon. Nixon didn't just try to cover up a break-in for the Democrats' offices, like private local spying. No, this is colluding with an enemy foreign government. Dantooine. Oh, good. Dantooine has a question. Yay. Okay, we've got at least one stupid question for today. Dantooine said, Lorielle, where did you get the genius hat? Well, Dantooine, that's an excellent question. And I got this genius hat several years ago. Gosh, it must have been about 7 years ago now, from a Reading Across America event that I took part in, where they'd have celebrities and people go to elementary schools and read for little kids. And it was Dr. Seuss that was Dr. Seuss was the books that they were promoting. So I went and read, they had a whole bunch of Dr. Seuss books, and they were giving out Dr. Seuss hats to the people who were reading. And so I read to kindergartners, and I read my very favorite Dr. Seuss book, one of the most profound books ever. Literally blew my 5th grade little brain out of the water with the concept that's all in the Dr. Seuss book of Horton Hears a Who. Yes. There's a lot more under the surface of Dr. Seuss than you may have realized in 5th grade. David Jones, false equivalency. And again, we haven't. Yes, there's a picture to prove it. David Jones, I call deflection and false equivalency. Again, not even addressing what I'm talking about, instead deflecting to another untrue and completely irrelevant argument now, as it's way in the past with somebody who is not the president. So yes, you're going to have to bring a stronger game than that if you want to get into the ring with me, David Jones, because that is a pow, knock you out, mic drop. Yes, Linda says, and there are pictures to prove it. That's true. There is a picture. They had some photographers there too. At the event, there's pictures from somewhere. I had a really good time. I liked reading to the little kids. I liked getting the hat. And so yes, so this is an official Dr. Seuss hat from Dr. Seuss, which is why it is officially a genius hat, because Dr. Seuss is a genius. Saying, oh my goodness, it's already 5:50. How did the time go? How did the time go? All right, so I am just about to sign off, but I want to thank you guys for coming to see me because you're awesome. I will be back tomorrow at 5:15 for Funny Friday, where we share jokes to put everybody in a good mood for the weekend. So I hope you have some jokes tomorrow. Otherwise, it's going to be more politics. Just saying. Start looking for jokes, Linda. All right. All right. Kisses for everybody. Bye. Love you all. See you tomorrow. Bye.